Okay, I'm not gonna get fooled again like last week, sitting down to watch Winnie the Pooh and getting a horror film instead. So now I'll play it safe by putting on some 80s Sesame Street from my youth. I remember all of these, such as the two-headed monster playing with paper,
Napoleon!
Harry Monster tricking Kermit into an X-ray machine, and this moron, use a ramp! Plus there's classic films such as Follow That Bird, and of all the TV specials, the one I watched the most as a kid, because it's the one I had on tape, was Don't Eat the Pictures, Sesame Street at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which aired on PBS on November 16th, 1983. You all know this one, when they get stuck in a museum looking for Big Bird, who happens upon an Egyptian prince stuck on Earth with his cat until he can solve a riddle. And some kind of test involving scales. Plus, they have to avoid the security guard played by Paul Dooley. Clearly, this all invented the formula later to be perfected by such classics as Mannequin and Night at the Museum. Director John Stone directed a huge number of Sesame Street specials, including the other 1983 one, Big Bird in China. The big takeaway is that Big Bird really needs a variety of ties. He uses the same one whenever he leaves Sesame Street. The special's writer, Tony Geiss, was also a writer for many of the specials, plus a co-writer on An American Tail and The Land Before Time. Plus, Caroline Kennedy, daughter of JFK, was also on the crew, back when she was a research assistant for the museum. They're all excited to be here.
Oh boy! Cookie Monster in Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Don't act like you wouldn't rather be at a Baskin-Robbins right now. Sure, they're walking around looking at the nice artwork, but really most of them are here to see that statue of Stallone from Nighthawks outside. It must have taken some work convincing Oscar to go. Museums usually like it when you drag a trash can inside. It was also nice seeing Northern Calloway's David in one of these, since he wasn't in Follow That Bird for legal reasons. However, the rest of them are still being weird. Bert somehow figured out a way to look like a creepy lurker while actually bird-watching. Bird-watching is supposed to be the excuse when you're lurking. Though even if you forever remain 6 years old after drinking from the fountain of Tutankhamun, some will always be sad.
Some days I feel just like that. Oh.
Then Telly borrowed some Xanax from the front desk employee. That is, if he can get there before they're all kicked out. It is closing time.
Oh, we hardly had a chance to see anything.
The opening credits were 5 minutes long. You saw plenty. The real heroes are the adults like Gordon, who have to corral kids and monsters on a field trip. Sounds like hell.
I was supposed to meet Mr. Snuffleupagus at the American Wing, and I couldn't find it.
You can meet your imaginary friend next time, okay?
Yeah, but...
Gordon's gonna go full Willie Dynamite. Big Bird's gonna get his ass beat. I count one asshole, as in this asshole bird who's like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave and go look for Snuffy, bye, hope this doesn't ruin your night.
She's right, Big Bird. Oh, he's probably looking for his imaginary friend.
Leave him, teach him a lesson when he's thrown into a holding cell. Already the museum is odd at night, as in it's odd watching Oscar walk around with his feet, like the shots of Alf walking. It doesn't look right. I wonder which wing they'll get to first.
Big Bird!
Ooh, obviously the zany silent film wing. This could all be solved very quickly if you weren't sucked into a black hole behind the pillar. That's the only explanation. You're both standing behind it at the same time. Eventually, some just give up, like they're sitting on shopping mall benches, waiting for their kids to finish up inside KB Toys. Now they are officially locked in the museum.
And we are locked in the museum for the night.
Finally, Oscar's vengeance strikes. That's when the special goes on to inspire the relic. Hopefully they can do this while avoiding the world's worst security guard who never hears a damn thing. They all care very deeply about looking for Big Bird.
Look at these statues. Oh, isn't that a handsome statue? Yeah. It's so big.
Well, Big Bird's been turned into a statue from drinking lots of water. Let's all try leaving through a window. They're just asking to be cursed. Again, that would scare the hell out of me if I saw that walking around. Looks freakier than when you put Oscar the Grouch into Starry AI. And why does Dooley look like a statue of Saddam came to life in the night? Of course, it's also an educational special, like when we get lessons of all the pieces that they visit. Like these statues from ancient Greece and Rome, many of which fell apart from earthquakes.
They are broken. Broken?
Sir, you were asked to leave once already for sprouting an erection. Oscar is in ecstasy. That's where we get the first song of the special, his song of love.
Broken and beautiful.
It's not the first time Oscar has locked himself in a museum to bang the statues. He sings these lovely lyrics in true Oscar fashion. Oscar isn't getting paid enough to write lyrics. That would be wasting time while figuring out how to fit all of these in his can. We'll be right back. Best check on the security guard. Now I'm concerned how he doesn't hear this orchestra that's also stuck inside.
I've got a really good story for you, and it's all about me. Me, wonderful me.
Sesame Street's Big Bird Story Magic from Ideal with storybook and cassette. The way your kids react to him speaks for itself.
We're back. Let's wait for Big Bird to finish taking a piss. Then he'll find... Oh, there he is! Snuffy! Where have you been, ass? I'm in so much trouble because of you! And then it gets weird.
Hey, you hear crying?
Great. The freaky witch who runs at you in zombie games. Or an Egyptian prince.
Please, Osiris, help me find the answer to this question. If you do, I'll give you my marbles and my doll.
Seems legit. This is Prince Sahu of Egypt, played by the late Aram Chowdhury, in his only acting role. He'll tell you all the backstory you need.
Son of the god Wozer-Kaf, king of kings, lord of the two lands, conqueror of the east and west, and fabulous fisherman.
So, from Hell's Kitchen, huh? I think that's on the way back. You can hitch a ride with us. So he wants to get back to his mother and father, who were stars in the sky, and then we find out his real age.
You're only a little kid.
I am not. I am 4,306.5 years old.
Pfft, okay, boomer. The giant talking bird and his imaginary friend don't believe that he could possibly be an Egyptian prince until the cat shows up. Well, that's one way to get around using a real cat. The predicament is that at midnight he is asked by a demon...
A demon?
Yes, a demon asks him to answer a riddle, and if he gets it right, he can meet Osiris.
The Lord of the Underworld.
A gangster?
No, you idiot, that's Yul Brynner. You see, if he gets the riddle right, his heart is weighed against a feather, and if it's lighter, he can become a star. Going to museums is complicated. Enough of that, let's just play around in the museum like the others are doing.
Well, we'll play with you.
You will?
Sure.
I hope I remember how. We will play with my marbles.
That's nice. Security. Security! There's no security. I have the feeling this will get noisy too. Bob has to stop Cookie Monster from eating the delicious pictures. That way they can have a title.
The sign! Cookie Monster, look at the sign!
What sign? Please don't eat the pictures.
I like that sign implies that someone before him also tried eating the pictures. Hence why they had to title the movie Please Don't Eat the Daisies when Cookie went to the theater. But meanwhile, in the room where Bill and Ted are sneaking around looking for the princesses, why not? Grover thinks there's a guy in the suit, so now they can fight to the death, or at least have a sing-along.
Shiny chum, don't be shy, don't be mum, just say hi.
From the classic story, the monster dies at the end of this book. Just like the time Superman let a hospital of orphans sink into a crater because he was pretending to ride horses. At this point, after his song about wanting to be his friend, Maria just doesn't have the heart to tell him it's only a suit.
It is.
Oh! Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! I knew that!
Nice try. He'll never live this one down, moron. But in the serious wing, Sahu finds his favorite painting, which looks just like his mother and father.
This one's my favorite. They look like my mother and father.
Dude, Sonny and Cher are your parents? Nice. As for the riddle he's supposed to solve,
Where does today meet yesterday?
Where does today meet yesterday?
the answer is a museum. We can roll the credits now. After 4,000 years, he still hasn't been humbled. He's too lazy to walk on his own.
Sahu, come on.
At home, I always ride an elephant.
Well, you're not at home though, are you? First you must go to Bangkok Palace. Might as well, not like the security guard is gonna hear it regardless. Hell, just try eating one of the paintings, you'll be fine.
No, Cookie Monster, you promised you wouldn't eat the Rousseau. No, Cookie Monster, no.
Best line in the whole special. In front of the best song in it, too. Look, we titled it Don't Eat the Pictures. We need to have a song with that name in it as well.
Picture exciting, but not for biting. Don't eat the pictures. No.
I think I have an answer for this. These are the ghosts of the previous monsters who ate the pictures. They were shot by the previous security guard. Also, don't eat that. I think it's one that Oscar might have banged earlier. However, the pamphlets you can still eat. Most people just eat those anyway, or throw them away. Oh no, 2 hours to midnight. Is there 2 hours of the special left? No, the whole special is only an hour, despite the stops they make along the way.
Oh, the cat stopped. But where is the Temple of Dender?
Let the cat finish licking his balls first. Ah, right over there! That's the temple they were looking for! Located in the wing where 20 Bruno Mattei epic-exploitation movies were shot. And in case you forgot the plot once more...
Now we've got to answer Sahu's question, because the demon comes at midnight.
There is something bizarre about hearing Big Bird talk about demons, like it's this close to actually turning into a horror film. We haven't seen Bert and Ernie since Bert's camera was confiscated for the naked pigeon photos, so they need to get into some shenanigans too.
Ernie, look at that painting.
Oh, what painting, Bert?
What painting? That painting.
Ernie is terrified of boat paintings. Here they learn more about George Washington crossing the Delaware River, but Ernie is more interested in the ice.
Why didn't he wait till Easter?
Well, Ernie couldn't do that. I mean, the British were coming.
And they could have snuck in their hilarious Easter Bunny onesies.
He's standing up in a boat, Bert.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to stand up in a boat, Bert.
Ernie is performing the world's first political attack ad, though they may be losing the plot of this history lesson.
I bet George Washington caught a cold, Bert.
But did George Washington worry about the sniffles, huh?
Yes, tee up that punchline.
If George Washington was going to New Jersey, why didn't he do what everybody does, Bert? Take the George Washington Bridge, Bert.
Look, he had to mention the George Washington Bridge. That happens to be one of Ernie's best songs, and it's sadly not included in the special. Anyway, as they enter the spa where Caligula met Caesonia at the orgy dedicated to the goddess Isis, they leave Snuffy alone while he takes a nap. He stopped caring about Sahu somewhere around making him carry him on his back. But Snuffy's gonna miss Big Bird's song now.
You're gonna be a star, shining in the sky.
Yeah, great. That sounds like something a creepy talent agent sings while chewing on a cigar and hanging out in food courts. Yo, it's okay, officer. He's literally gonna be a star in the sky.
I'm gonna be a star.
Somewhere in the blue.
Somewhere in the blue.
I got a spot for you in a Kicks commercial, kid. I'm sure this song has made everything better.
Don't you feel better?
Yes, but we still don't know the answer. And the demon comes at midnight.
Oh, right, the demon. Sorry, that's a bit darker than we're used to. After several hours, Paul Dooley finally sees some of them. Don't worry, he'll respond with his weapon of choice, camera mugging. It was important they hire a guard with resting Colonel Clinkface. I like when they straight up just say they've given up on Big Bird.
We've looked enough for Big Bird. Look at the statue.
It's not even midnight yet. This song about mothers and children will be a better use of our time.
Mothers and children from long ago.
Sing the theme to 227. And what's with the kid on the right who looks wildly disinterested? Like it's too late into the song for him to say, I never knew my mother. So here they are, waiting for the demon, as they usually do on Sesame Street. On the plus side, Sahu could come to live with them instead.
You could come live on Sesame Street, huh, Snuff?
Oh, yeah,
You'll be the first 4,000-year-old kid on the block.
for sure.
He's not as thrilled about living on the curb next to Oscar's can. But that's when they get a big clue, when they talk about everything that they've seen throughout the night, which gives them the clues to solve the riddle.
Come here to learn about yesterday. You might even say to meet yesterday in a museum. Like,
My God, that's it! The answer is a photo album! And it's finally midnight where we can see what this demon looks like.
The demon.
it's okay, son.
Freaking James Mason?
Yes, it is I, James Mason, as Cecil B. DeMille's Wizard of Oz.
Even he seems very tired to still be asking this riddle, or it's just that James Mason is a little sleepy here.
Every night for the past 4,000 years, I've asked you the same question, and not once have you given me the correct answer.
He's going full Richard Burton in Exorcist 2. I do like the gag that he's incredibly passive-aggressive because he's also stuck in the museum. He's even surprised Sahu gets the answer right.
Did you say in a museum?
I'm sorry, the answer is the Salem's Lot Steak and Shake Diner. Goodbye.
But look, the cat is back, looking like he's been cooped up in a museum for thousands of years, surrounded by signs that say, "Don't play with the string." We'll be right back. The black hole from behind the pillar is back. They'll be here a while.
Singing, dancing, fun, and 26 fantastic letters.
Eat it.
I think she almost got it.
After 3 years from the Metroplex Sesame Street Live, January 25th through February 3rd. Tickets on sale now at all Rainbow Ticketmasters.
Now that they've spelled Jehovah with an I on the floor, they are meeting Osiris, played by Fritz Weaver. I'd be surprised if they didn't also approach John Carradine to be in this. Sahu must face his final test to see if his favorite box with a heart on it is lighter than a feather, but they've run out of feathers.
With no feather, there can be no test.
Just use Big Bird's feather and quit stalling. Pfft, we all know this is gonna be a happy ending. Just get to it.
Oh, no.
Well, we've tried. Guess you'll be living in the trash on Sesame Street after all. Big Bird's not taking this lightly.
It's not fair.
Not fair!
And that's how Big Bird was turned into a duck-billed platypus who shits gummy bears. But all he needed was a nose kiss from Big Bird, and that shifted the scale. Oof, that was intense. Now on with his journey, where the cat says, Wait, I don't want to be a star. I do want to live on Sesame Street. I like eating out of the trash. That must be why the cat switched himself out with a stuffed animal. And thus Prince Sahu was never mentioned again, but his star is still up there.
Oh, it's Sahu.
And that must be his cat.
You can tell by the ringing bell on the star's collar. Now it's finally morning, where they have the hard task of explaining to the kids' parents where they've been all night. No wonder they don't say a word at first, and are just standing around looking furious at Big Bird till they explode.
We spent the whole night looking for you, Big Bird.
Gee, why did you do that?
Because we love you. Now, where were you?
Get his ass, Maria! Keep in mind, this is back when Snuffy was still Big Bird's imaginary friend that only he could see.
No. He isn't imaginary, and we both met a little Egyptian prince.
Big Bird's gonna go live in a school for a while. And the guard is so fired. This special still holds up. It is very entertaining, original, the right kind of weird, and I still remember the songs after all these years, and anything that I had forgotten came back to me pretty quickly. It makes good use out of the characters, has some solid laughs, and works in education about various pieces into the plot lines. Plus it finishes off the side stories too, where a very hungry cookie monster wants a hot dog from Woody Allen's stand.
Me want to eat hot dog. Dad!
You know, you're paying for all of that. Don't worry, they'll move the hot dog stand to the broken wing of the museum so Oscar can take a nap in it. Any other specials you remember as a kid? Let us know in the comments. I'm gonna go relive my childhood by locking myself in a McDonald's and waiting for the Grimace to come to life so we can both resurrect an Arch Deluxe. See you next time.
To New Jersey, Bert?
To New Jersey! Don't take the pictures
No!
when you go to museum!